A fragrance that contains accords of cotton candy and smoke. So this is going to be a really interesting fragrance. This one by the brand Pernoire is called Kama. This is perhaps one of the most unique fragrances I've smelled in a very long time. I'm looking forward to giving you my thoughts on this one very soon, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin today's episode and I give you my thoughts on this fragrance by Pernoire, and I've reviewed another one from the brand called Vitias. This one is called Kama. I'll tell you all about the smell, the notes, the accords, the performance, longevity, so on and so forth. But before I dive into the review, I do want to mention that if you're a fan of fragrance-related content, hit subscribe, hit the bell, and give this video a thumbs up for the algorithm. It would really mean a lot to me. So, looking at the note breakdown, there is a cotton candy accord, there is birch tar, which of course is going to be a little smoky. There's cypriol, which is going to be a little spicy. There's this floral bouquet, so you have violet, you have orris, but of course you also have this leather accord in here. And of course, in my experience, leather means saffron. And as soon as I sprayed this on, I said, wow, there's a lot of saffron in here. And immediately I made comparison to one other fragrance, but a very loose frame of reference. I'm going to tell you all about this fragrance and why I think it's so unique and original. Let's start things off with a quick look at the presentation first. So right in the opening of this fragrance, you are going to get this overdose of saffron. So it's leather, right? You're gonna get a lot of leather, but you're gonna get a lot of other really quirky elements in here that doesn't make it simple leather fragrance, right? It's not just about the leather. There's so much else happening in here. And of course, that leather accord is undeniably coming from the note of saffron. Right away, it puts me in the mindset of fragrances like Alpha by Mendito Rosa, also Ombre Leather by Tom Ford. So if you've tried either one of those fragrances, you'll be reminded very faintly of them. Of course, it does its own thing. As I smell it, I pick up on a tiny little bit of sweetness. I mean, the cypriol, the saffron, the leather, the birch, it's kind of dominating things in the opening, right? Most of the time when you spray fragrances on, you're like, oh, it opens up with a burst of citrus. No, that's not happening in here. You're not going to get any citrus, right? It might be in here, but I'm not getting any of it. It opens up quite dark and spicy, and it's like, oh, look, I'm here to play, right? And I'm not going to play easy. But you give it a chance to dry down, and it has like this mellow personality about it in the sense of it being sweet, but not overly so. And I really do enjoy that cotton candy accord that's in here. It adds this really interesting element to the fragrance where it's kind of like, wait a second, so this is mysterious and flirtatious. And so, you know, usually fragrances can be on one side where they're kind of dark and brooding and mysterious and almost gothic. But then to take that and have that mysterious enigmatic element and to couple it with this sort of bright, upbeat, flirtatious quality, I think it's really interesting. So I love that duality and that juxtaposition in the personality here. And I love how it's all about the heart and the base. So here's the thing, and I think we should also talk about the floral components, right? We're talking violet, we're talking orris, and you do get this smoothness in here, which I guess doesn't mitigate or completely take away or diminish the spices, the cypriol, the saffron, so on and so forth, but it just makes them a lot more agreeable. And so I think they serve a very functional purpose in here, and also a very olfactorily aesthetic purpose, right? I think they do contribute to the art of the composition, but I think in a way they're also highly functional in the sense that if it weren't for their presence, this one would have been quite on the rough and tumble side of things. This stuff is awesome. If you're looking for uniqueness in 2024, Kama is it. Let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. Now, first up, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, one of the most unique fragrances I've tried, keeping in mind there's a lot of saffron in here as far as my nose can perceive. It's the first thing that I smelled. I smelled it loud and clear. You're not going to see saffron in the note breakdown, but you will see leather. But that's what we're dealing with here. Longevity on this one, a good 9-10 hours on skin. Projection, wonderful for the first hour of application. It radiated at an arm's length. It became an elbow's length scent right around hour 7, a skin scent right around hour 9 or 10, I would say. Versatility on this one, I can see somebody really enjoying this one in the colder weather and even on a chilly spring spring evening. Maybe in the dead of summer, the birch, the cypriol, the leather might be a little bit too heavy-handed for some people, but I think this one, oh my God, the uniqueness of it. You can wear this one dressed up. I don't think I would wear this one dressed down necessarily. There's a formal element about it. I can see this one appealing to somebody who's a little bit on the older side of things and thus being more experienced with niche perfumes. And as far as the presentation is concerned, I do really like the presentation of this one. My final verdict on this fragrance is it is certainly one of the most unique fragrances that I've tried this year. 100%. The only other one that I think comes as close in terms of uniqueness is the new Parfum Cortana fragrance. Please try this one. Please, if you're a fan of leather, if you're a fan of dark scents, please try this one. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you took something of value from today's review. That was my review of Kama by Pernoire. If you have any experience with this brand, why don't you go ahead and treat this video as a forum of sorts? Drop your comment down below. Always love the interaction. Also, don't forget to hit subscribe, the bell, and hit like if you took something of value from this video. Thanks again for watching. I love you all, and we'll see you tomorrow with a new episode. Bye.